We're good?
Come on. I'm waiting for it to come up on my phone.
If I
Should be
wanna-
good.
Okay.
You're good.
All right, we're going to call this meeting to order. Today's date is July 7th, 2025, and this is the Board of Public Works and Safety. If everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. You may be seated. Next item is adoption of the agenda for approval. I do have under new business, item F. Let's add Kiwanis Walk of Honor. And I did pass that out. I think you all should have, did you get one?
Yeah.
Yep, you got one there? Okay. That's the only addition I have on the agenda. Are there any other additions or changes?
I have none.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Adam, second by Gerald. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Agenda stands approved. Next item is presentation of minutes for your approval. These are from your June 16th meeting. Are there any additions or changes to those minutes as presented?
I didn't have any issues.
Okay, motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Adam. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gerald. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Minutes stand approved. Next item is comments of citizens. Are there any citizens that would like to make any comments that's not on the agenda? Please come up to the microphone, state your name and address for the minutes, please. I believe we have that on, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Larry Kleeman, 137 Ferry Parkway, Tell City. Got a few things on my mind this evening that I wanted to discuss, and it may be more appropriate to hold to a council meeting, and I'll let you be the judge of that, whether we want to take action on it here as the Board of Works or just delay it, and I can report on it at the council meeting. But the mayor had asked us to make a drive around of our wards prior to the heavy trash pickup day. And I did that, and I turned a list into Steve. I don't know, I had 12 or 13 structures on it. As a follow-up to that, I did another drive around just a couple of days ago, July 6th, at some properties that I think are beyond the stage of repairing that the city needs to take some action on. The first one is at 42 Windy Creek Lane. The owner is listed as Joanna Lynn Bowman. I think she is deceased, but I don't know that, but that's what's listed on the property record card. There have been no property taxes paid from 2019 to date. Prior to that, I don't know about property taxes. I took some pictures and,
Larry, is that behind the bowling alley?
It would be.
42
Yes.
Windy Creek?
But it's actually
Yes.
behind the
I
office.
took some pictures, and I apologize, I ran out of toner, so I only have one. I'll let you guys pass that down. And take a look
Larry,
at
just,
it.
I don't know if you've talked to Steve, but they did send out several notices to some properties, probably some of the ones that's on your list there. I think that was one of them, from
Was.
what I remember.
Yes.
So there has been some hearings that's going to be coming up, and I don't remember the date you said, but regarding some of these properties.
Just something needs to be done for the benefit of the other residents up there.
Sure.
That
No, I
property
understand.
is terrible.
Larry, it was strange, you said 2019 is the last time any property taxes were ever paid on it. It should have went up at a tax sale
Should've
between
went up
now and
at a
then.
tax, yeah.
Had that,
That's what the property record card
And maybe it
shows.
did and didn't get purchased, or it got purchased and they haven't,
Could be.
time hasn't come up yet for them to get a deed for it.
yeah, I just don't remember that on the tax sale list. I mean, that's been several years
Yeah.
worth, so
That would have been enough time for
She
it to come
did
through tax
pass.
sale
I'm
twice.
familiar.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that house. She did pass, so maybe the year waiting period's not up or something.
And there's a car sitting next to it that has license plates on it. The second property, and I'll pass this also, It's owned by the Perry County Port Authority at 128 9th Street. There's pictures I took of just the front and back. I think that house has been vacant for quite a while.
Okay.
Okay, so I have that. I have just one other thing this evening, well, actually two other things. I know there had been some discussion, I had made a request, I think, a couple years ago, maybe even longer than that, about considering putting up a four-way stop sign at Humboldt and 7th Street. And I don't know if anything else has been considered at that intersection, because there's some trees in front of the tavern that obviously block the view from vehicles coming from the left, and vehicles coming south on 7th Street. If there's cars parked there at the poorhouse, it infringes on the view there also. So
Yeah, I talked to the owner. They're going to be trimming the trees, see how that does first.
they are going to trim the trees?
Yeah, I talked to him
Okay.
probably a month ago. I don't think he's trimmed them yet, but I'll follow up with him.
No,
and see where he-
they haven't been trimmed as of this past weekend.
We actually did go over at our, about a month ago meeting, and Mayor was gonna reach out.
Yep, next morning I ran into him and,
But they're not, I can tell you from today, they're not trimmed yet, so.
Okay.
but I think, the police did do a traffic study. I don't think they had enough information to feel like there was needed for a four-way, but the tree situation and then yellow curbs on the south side there, I think those were kind of the ideas that would fix it.
I know that the police did a traffic study, I understand that. I still, in my mind, would advocate for a four-way stop sign to allow pedestrians to cross there safely. The last thing that I've got on my mind this evening, and to be honest, I just didn't have time to contact Steve to talk about this, but a constituent contacted me June the 26th. And this is a picture, it's not much of a picture, but she was leaving a ball game that concluded at 9:45 after a long playoff game. And I don't know if in the planning for the sports complex, we plan to have lights in the parking lot, but this is what she took a picture of. And I think from a safety and liability standard, if we don't have lights planned, I think we should.
Okay. It's something we can take a look at. We'll meet with the engineers, get some ideas. There may be some poles that we can utilize that are already existing to help some of that. I do know we're trying to be respectful of the neighbors too, because that was a problem with the old fields. The light pollution, I guess, is what they was calling it, would outcast and then light up their whole backyards. And so we're going to have to make sure we get some directional lights that's not going to shine to light up their whole backyards and the back of their homes, but direct it more on the parking lot itself. So you can't just put up any random street light.
Right.
Does that make
Right.
sense, Andy? Directional, I guess. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
So it's doable. I
I
just don't know.
understand that, it's just very dark out there now. And since the park is open till 11 o'clock at night, I don't know if people are run off of our parks, if there are people on our parks after 11 o'clock. I don't know if they're patrolled or there's any.
I mean, the police monitor it. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, they're looking for things that shouldn't be happening there.
Yeah, I'd had one of the coaches contact me also and suggested that we put up a gate across that entrance. I don't think we can do that because I think that's a public street, and I believe that alleyway in behind those houses is still a platted alleyway.
We already got,
They've been vacated.
the street's been vacated that goes to dead ends to that point where you could put a gate, but we've had some discussions and we're probably a few steps ahead of you you're not aware of, but to
Okay.
address that.
Okay, thank you.
All right? Any other public comments?
One comment on Larry at that four-way stop. I've been looking at that. I don't know where we can put a stop sign and see it. Unless we put a sign and extend it off that lamppost. Because you
Oh,
You can't see it for the trees. We would put a stop sign up.
Yeah, we gotta get the trees
Yeah.
trimmed either way.
he was very willing to trim the trees. He was super nice. So I don't think you'll see a problem. I just need to maybe remind him, maybe he's forgotten, he's ain't had time, but I'll remind him. So I'll get right on that this week or next for sure, but maybe even tomorrow. He's normally there in the
We need
mornings.
to revisit that after he trims it, because
Yeah, absolutely.
we need to look at that. I think it warrants a four-way stop for safety reasons.
I don't know, you gotta have your thoroughfares too. I mean, that's kind of my concern too.
I understand that.
But I'd like to try the tree situation first and then painting the curb and see if that helps with the visibility of things.
Okay, I mean, if he trims the trees, then we can look at it.
Sure. And it's a less aggressive approach, I think, and
Yeah.
stop signs. Stop signs, I would tell you, they're hard to get used to when they're a new sign put up. We have been at the intersection of Humboldt and Main. That stop sign's been there for, well, there was a traffic light there a long time, at least 30 years. And I bet if you sat there today, you'd see 20 cars. And,
I still stop at Franklin and 19th.
yeah, there was one there too.
There was a
But we
four-way
also
stop
added one
at
recently, probably within the last 5 years at Ninth and Humboldt also there. It used to be just a two-way.
Right.
And we put a barrel there to remind people, and then they steal the signs off the barrels. Or the barrel. I mean, they're serious, I'm not joking, they really, no signs are 75 to 100 bucks or more, some of them, depending on which ones you get and the size, but so it's just, and you have to advertise it, so there's a lot of expense that can go into it. But let's try this approach first. I'll remind the property owner and see what their plans are, so we can get it taken care of. Okay? Do you have anything else, Gerald?
No.
Okay. All right, that concludes the comments of citizens, so we'll move on to department heads. We'll start first with Chris Toothman, wastewater.
Thanks, Mayor, Board. Not a whole lot going on. Since the last time we met, we did repair a sinkhole at the 600 block between 10th and 11th. It had a tap that had sunk down and was sucking in the dirt and the rock.
Where was that at again?
The 600 block between 10th and 11th, right over here.
On Mozart?
Trainer, off of Jeff, or the next street over.
Oh, okay.
I think it's, or 600 that one.
Yeah, it's 600
Okay,
bucks.
yeah, so it should be off Mozart, towards the south end of the block.
Okay.
Nothing in the stormwater. Down at the plant, all the generators were inspected. They did find a few minor repairs, but they are still operable, so they are ready. But they will get to those repairs this week. For the flood wall, the Fulton flood walk-through gate has been taken out, and it's at Fralick's being repaired,
Good.
so.
Question on two sinkholes. I noticed a cone on Petzalazzi between 12th and 13th yesterday. Must have a sinkhole developing there.
Right there by,
Right where Ron lives.
Ron
The
LaFord.
Ford, right, almost right by his garage driveway there.
Okay.
I noticed it yesterday, and I don't know what's going on. We just paved that street last year. If you go up 10, 15 feet from where that cone is, it's like the whole asphalt has this, like not washed away, but like shifted and just rubbled up. We literally just paved that last year, I think, or
Yeah.
was it this year? Larry, that was the street you was last year, wasn't it? But it's like it's washed away, but it's the strangest thing.
Okay.
For being that new, it shouldn't have done that.
I'll look at it and see if we got anything going through there. I don't know right off. I have to look at our maps to see
Okay.
if we got anything. But I'll get with Jim and the
then we
gas
can-
company or whoever might have something in there.
I still think, I know we talked about the hole up there at 16th and Petzalazzi too.
Oh yeah, it popped through.
It did.
So it's just going to take some concrete. Like I said, we had a construction company come in and seal it from the inside.
Yeah.
It might just open it up, put something on top of it from the top of it.
And then there's another one on Mozart I saw marked today, sinkhole. It was a hole, it didn't have a cone, it had orange or green spray paint circling it. On Mozart between probably about 11th Street, maybe?
Might be.
Greg ain't here.
Yeah, he's
He
off
probably
that.
marked it even
So,
today.
yeah, he might. Well,
But
yeah.
I noticed that today, it was just, might want to put a cone on it, because
Mozart, would you say 11th?
11th or 10th, somewhere in there.
Okay. I'll check them out.
I just dropped a cone, because I drove over it.
Well, if it's got a cone on it, we've already.
No, this didn't have a cone on it. It's
Okay.
just marked, because I'd
Oh,
have
it's
to
already
go
marked,
around
then are they doing it for locates probably? That's probably what it's
No,
for,
I
so
just didn't-
we already know.
My car don't weigh much, but electric truck does, and they've been known to fall in the hole that one time, so
Yeah.
we don't want a repeat of that.
No, absolutely not.
All right, any questions for Chris? Oh, the door needs worked on at the floodgates on Washington.
Okay,
It's kind of open,
okay.
so I don't know what you...
It's got a bad hinge,
Yeah.
so, all right,
All
thanks.
right, thank you, Chris. All right, moving on, Steve Goodson, Building and Zoning.
Thanks, Mayor, Board. This report is for the month of June. We did issue 35 permits for the month, which was a pretty decent month. 9 of those were electrical for a value of $65,525. We did issue 1 new home permit, 222 24th Street. That value was $170,000. 2 commercials, the high school roof and the Hollidan Realty Building. Those 2 totaled $2,525,000. I think the roof alone was over $2 million on the high school. 22 miscellaneous for $248,181. We did have 1 demo of the old car wash, valued at $10,000. 2 temporary license, $50, so total work value for the month was $3,018,706. Total fees that we collected were $1,595. And moving on to complaints, we did post 8 grass letters. The city did mow 5. We did not have any trash bust or junk letters that we issued. We did issue 2 green cards, so today, or year-to-date, we've had 39 complaints and issued 37 letters, and also issued 6 green cards.
How many notices did we, I know you was working on it, for that first one that Larry had mentioned, we sent out some for hearings, right? Are we done with that yet, or getting ready to send them?
We're going to get all 5 or 6. I think there may be 6 now on the list.
Okay.
So we're going to try to get them all in one day, one morning.
Okay. Did you hear that, Larry? There'll be 6 properties that's on that list. I remember that one was on there. I don't remember all of them, but.
Yep.
So there'll be some public hearings.
There are 6.
On 6 different properties, including one, I don't know if the.
It is included, yes.
Oh, 2 of the ones that you talked about were going to be public hearings for demolition consideration, or the process we have to follow. So, I hope that helps answer a couple of your concerns there. Okay. Have you had any luck with Carolyn Barr with the Obrecht House yet?
No, I've not seen her in a
We're
couple
gonna
of
have
weeks.
to get a hold of her this week, or send her
I
a
will.
letter, or find her somewhere, because we kind of need to, there's been little to no progress that I can tell.
Yeah.
Maybe there is, this year so far.
Haven't seen a carpenter around, no.
I haven't either, and it's hot, but it's weather to get those kinds of things done, and that
Yeah.
it's done, and they've come a long ways on the property from where it was. I mean, structurally, it's a lot better. It's
Yes.
just getting that siding and closing the windows up will not fix it all, but it'll put it in a lot better place for something to be done with it, at least.
And get cleaned up around the yard.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
clutter's gotta
Yes.
be.
Yeah.
I will make that phone call first thing in the morning.
So what's our option there, Jeff?
Go back to court.
Court ruled in our favor.
It's to have to go back, and now she's got to be in contempt of
Go
court.
back and do enforcement, yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is, with all that lumber stacked around there, you see nobody working on it. Can we issue her a letter, have Steve issue her a letter and say, you got X number of days to clean it up? Or we clean it up and put it on the tax roll like we do other things?
That would be a process, because it's considered at this point junk and trash and rubbish. I'd
Yes.
call it.
She's done nothing in the last 3 months.
I would agree.
The Swartz guy's gone, he's not there.
So I think.
I mean, I just want some clarity what we can do from.
I mean, it gets in our junk and trash letter, because that's what it is. And I know some vehicles were tagged at the hotel property. There was at least 3 or 4 that I could see. I just driving by and noticed them. So she could get a junk and trash notice, right? I mean,
I can issue it
Any-
first thing in the morning.
Any
Yeah.
property in the city can receive one, so yeah, nobody's exempt.
I'm just trying to help him.
May speed the process up a little bit, yeah.
probably need to go ahead and post it and just get it rolling, because some of that stuff needs cleaned up. I get some of that maybe work for the house, but not near all. I mean,
No.
probably 10% of it may be used on the house, but the rest of it's, there was like an old wash tub out there and a recliner I think I saw. I mean, that's junk.
There's a lot of junk there, yes, I agree.
Okay.
I
will
want to
get that out first
emphasize
thing in
that
the morning.
cleaning it up don't mean moving it to Main and Washington.
Yeah. Cleaning up means disposing of it properly,
Yes.
not relocating it, at least within the city.
Correct.
Yeah. So I mean,
You don't have to go home, but you can't
I
stay
know
here.
Adam feels bad about that place too.
I think we're all on the same page. Get it cleaned up and let's find out when work is going to continue to get started, and if so, let's get a time frame and stick to it and get it going,
I agree.
in a nutshell. All right. Any other
Will do.
questions for Steve? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
All right, Chelsea Electric, Andy Hicks.
Good evening, Board, Mayor. Just a couple updates. About a month ago, I came in, updated y'all on the Phase 2 of the substation. Told you it was about $500,000 more than same equipment we got 3 years ago. So I got the steel bid in this past month. That came in about $100,000 less than we budgeted for, which is good. And then the miscellaneous items, that's your breakers, your insulators, your switches, it's about $300,000 less than we had. So we're about even to where we were 3 years ago. They just kind of shifted the prices around for what they wanted us to
Sounds
pay
like you
for.
guys are scouring eBay.
Hey, when you get 5 or 6 bids, that's what happens.
Whatever it takes, yeah.
So that's all good news. Some of this material will start coming in December, January. Transformer, I did get the email. Still waiting for the drawings, but it's slated April of 2028 to get that in. So I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. They have until like July, and then they get some fees. But so I'm sure it'll be here by July. But so mid to July or mid-year 2028, we should have the transformer and hopefully be rolling to get it online. So that's going. I also wanted to give you a little update on GE. I know, Mayor, you asked me about it. I think every time you see me, if you heard anything. Had a meeting on site with the electrical group that's going to be doing the process. They are still slated to come September, October, if all works out. So we met with them, decided where they're going to put their equipment. I think they're going to do it around back. So we're supposed to have a web meeting this week or next. And I'll give them the price. GE's got to pay all the construction costs and tear out. So be no cost to Tennessee Electric or our customers. So
Good.
that's a win-win.
I'm glad to hear the progress and cleanup is continuing.
Yep.
I know some of this takes time with red tape and stuff, but at least we've got answers and dates.
Hey, it's
so.
sat there empty for decades, so if it takes them a year or two now, we'll suffer that because we've got a very
Yeah.
good settlement in that case, so.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they're doing.
They're
what
doing
needs
what they
done.
said, yeah, they're complying with the settlement agreement as well, so. I know
And just,
people are anxious.
I know y'all were talking about, Larry brought up lighting at the sports complex. I actually just met with a vendor last week. They've got a new photo cell that you can put a timer on it. So if you want to do lights out there, we can put lights out there, and the park closes at 11, we can have it where they shut off at 11. So that might be
Some options.
an option for the residents there that, they won't burn up until a certain time and they'll cut off, so,
But we can get direction that would help take
Yeah.
away a lot of that.
yeah, so.
I guess, I don't know if the light pollution is the word, but I've heard it called that.
Yeah, the other option is to wire it to the main panels, and then when they cut the switch, they go off. But if you don't want to have to worry about that part, we can.
That's a lot to get it there.
Right, we can always install them. We can get these photo cells that's got a timer on them and set them and try them out. They were trying to sell them to me hard.
Anything else, put one or two and see how it works, and then if, maybe that's all we need. I mean, we're not trying to make it a complete daylight out there, we're just trying to get.
You need enough ambient light that people aren't gonna trip over stuff.
Right.
Well, it's pretty smooth out there for the most part. I mean, it's pretty level, but yes, I agree.
But just had that, like I said, just met with a vendor the other day, so there's options.
All right. Well,
Let
thank
us
you,
know.
Andy.
Would solar lights work out there? Andy?
So that's, glad you brought that up. Yes. Short answer is yes. Answer you probably want to hear is you don't want to pay for them. I actually watched
don't
the
wanna pay
park.
for
The
it.
answer
You
you
didn't
probably
wanna
don't
hear
wanna
it.
hear is that you don't wanna pay for it.
Yeah, so actually, I was watching the parks, one of the park board meetings a month or two ago, and I actually just got this quote back a couple weeks ago. It took them forever to get it to me. I think one of the long-term goals is light up some of the walkway, the parkway, and I was like, okay, let me try to go ahead and get ahead of this game, and cost of running wire and everything, and it's still feasible. They make decorative lighting, kind of what's on Main Street, but they make them, they're solar. But they're about $8,000 a light. So I have to run the numbers and show like what the cost is to put underground versus that. So they're pretty expensive, but they have, I think it was a 10-year warranty. And then they make different scales. You know, it'll be bright, and then at night, at a certain time, they can cut off or they'll dim down way low. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options out there. So I can forward that on to the mayor.
Yeah.
But
Send it to me and send it
I was
to Steve,
kind of
too.
did some research there because, like I said, I heard that in the meeting and figured at some point it may come up, and I better give you some options.
We used to, do we still have timers on the tennis courts, Chris, at night?
Yeah, you mean tennis court, basketball court,
Yeah.
or dog park too? I think there's something at dog park too. They were.
At certain time, we used to turn them off at night.
Well, there was a timer on the tennis courts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ones that I got a quote on, you can have those same thing, like 11 o'clock at night, they'll cut off. And if you do that, obviously, it'd be a little bit cheaper because you want, the ones I got were 2 batteries, but it burn all night long. You can go to 1 battery because then you're telling it when to use the
In
charge.
the winter, we can adjust the time then.
Yeah, yep. They'll all still be driven by photo cells, so it'll come on and,
Come on at 3 o'clock when it gets dark and.
right. Yeah, basically what it does.
Go 5 or?
Yeah, you set it on a timer, when they click on it, it runs for so many hours,
Yeah.
and then it can adjust down or cut off.
Okay, 4 o'clock. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, Albie Stiff, Greenwood Cemetery.
Mayor and Board. For the month of June, we had 4 traditional burials at $2,000. We had 3 cremate burials, $600. We had 1 cremate interment in the columbarium, $150. We had 1 weekend fee, $300. And on sales, we had 3 resident grave spots sold, $1,500, and 1 non-resident at $600, for a total for the month of $5,150.
Any questions on Albie's report, Board?
Have none.
Thank you, Albie.
All righty.
All right, Jim Holmes, Street Department, Trash Department.
Evening, Mayor and Board. Really don't have much anything. We're starting to get caught up from the big trash cleanup week.
Do we have a total weight yet?
No, they're still calculating that
It'll
mess.
be a bunch. It's
Yeah.
a big number, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think we had upwards of 30 dumpsters we had all out there.
Well, that's a good thing. It's stuff that's getting out of the city, out of people's homes and yards or wherever and getting rid of it. Properly disposing of it.
I think we only had 28 pickup loads come in for $10.
Just normal drop-offs is
Yeah.
surplus or more than, or just wanting to bring it down one way
Yeah.
or another. Okay, well, good. Board, do you have any questions for Jim? Thank you for your crew, by the way, working down at Sunset Park, getting, did they even count how many loads of driftwood they hauled off?
I think there were 7 or 8.
Really?
And that was just the driftwood, and then they hauled off a bunch of mud, and of course, the river dropped like 4 feet, and there's all our piles. Right at the bottom, yeah.
That was a lot. I mean, I was watching them and I went down and just talked to them for a minute and thanked them. I really appreciate it. I know Steve and his crews worked hard. People wouldn't believe, why isn't it done yet? Why? Well, because that on top of your normal duties in the winter months, or excuse me, the summer months with mowing, which is a big one, and then heavy trash pickup, and then the parks take care of. There's a lot more on top of your normal job that added. It's hard to get it all done.
Yeah.
And
Went
Those
down
guys
for it.
working during heavy trash pickup out there sorting. That was miserable hot. That couldn't have
Yeah.
been fun.
Yeah. I
and
was
rained a
proud
few
of them.
times and
Yeah.
helped to make those
Make
couches
them
a
nice
little
and heavy
heavier.
and then get real hot. Yeah.
We had good summer help this year, and so, yeah, we got by.
Oh, good. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Steve Parker, Parks and Rec.
Thank you, Mayor, Board. Don't have much to report. Pool's back up and going. Good samples coming back from Jasper, which is our weekly test. Speaking of the pool, Hope Sabota it will be leaving us at the end of the summer. She's going to the YMCA in Owensboro, took a position there. We're playing catch-up on everything else that we put off due to the complex, so that's all we have.
And thank you to you and your team and everyone for the sports complex work. You know, I couldn't even guess how many hours you and your team have put in. I know you have probably put 80 hours plus a weekend.
We're still doing it.
Huh?
On the week, we're still doing it on the weekend. We're playing, I dumped a lot of field conditioner, turfus on the fields in preparation for the tournament this weekend and the rain for this weekend, hoping to be able to play this weekend, so we prepared,
I
or
appreciate it.
preparing, hoping to play, so.
And volunteers that's helped work in the concession stand.
Yes, the volunteers,
We
everybody.
need more. I know Gerald and Mike were there, and
We have
Connie.
more,
Connie.
we have more games.
we have more
yes.
games.
We have
So
more,
if you didn't
so-
get a chance then, we have more opportunities.
Or they can do it again.
Or you can do it again, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Gerald and Mike helped me out a lot on the grill. Maybe it was cooking them, maybe we're wrapping them. But it worked really well, and again, you should be very proud of this. I mean, this is great, and I know it's only going to get better, because this, you know, something that's going to continue to grow. You know, we want to add more things, you know, we're going to add more trash cans in the parking lot. That was something that kind of came up.
Yep.
So, and then kind of a striping or marking, and then playground equipment. There's a lot of things still going to come, but it's just, yeah.
My assistant's actually working right now to secure a grant for playground equipment. So, and Gilliam Excavating is actually leveling off that big mound of dirt now. They're working on it, was today.
Good.
So he should be completed tomorrow. They're gonna seed and straw it in preparation of the playground equipment. So everything's coming together.
Excellent. So, you guys have any
I was
questions?
amazed at the people that were there.
1,200 people.
They really
the
commented
weekend.
positive on that.
And that wasn't
sports
even a
complex.
hard number, but I mean, 1,200 people at least, if not, well, minimum.
Minimum was 1,200 people there.
1,200 people, and that was only for a day and a half, because you remember, it rained Saturday about noon, literally. They set the whistle off, and everybody started running, thinking it was a storm, because the clouds got kind of dark back in there, and 5 minutes after that, it started raining, so it's kind of like a little early warning for them. Yeah. It worked out pretty good. But, yeah, can you imagine if it was, you know, both full days, it would have been more than 1,200 people. And talking to local businesses, they saw the impact.
You'll notice it.
They noticed it. And this is exactly what we wanted to see happen in our community. It's helping them all. So, well, anything else for Steve? I want to keep him standing all day. All right. Thank you,
Thanks, y'all.
Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Assistant Chief Flamion, Kelsey Police Department.
Evening, Mayor, Board. As we've come halfway through the year, I'll just give you some statistics from what we've done this year. So far, we have serviced 4,971 calls. We've worked 162 traffic collisions. We did 446 business checks, 2,136 traffic stops, with 233 of those being a citation and 1,718 of those being warnings. And then we've also put in a total of 450 training hours this year, and our reserves have put in 499 hours of service. So that's the statistics up to midway through the year, which the numbers are run about consistent. Call number, almost 5,000 calls already for the year. So they're running pretty consistent. The only other thing I have is we did have an officer resign last week, so I would like to get permission from the board to start a hiring process and fill his position.
A police officer or dispatcher?
Police officer,
Police officer.
Okay.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to start your process.
I will second that. Do you go back to the previous list? Number two candidate?
We do sometimes, but it's been probably, going over a year now. So, yeah, we'll go back, and the same things we do with our dispatchers, because we're going through that process as well. We'll go back from last when we opened up the hiring process. And we'll view those and see if there's anybody that was still interested or want to come in for another interview or test again and all that stuff. So I think we've got some reserves that are looking to come on full-time, so,
That's good.
yep. So we should hopefully have some good applicants.
All right, so we had a motion made by Adam, second by Gerald. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mike, did you have a question?
I wanted to ask, were there any stops resulting from noise?
I don't have that number off the top of my head. I could probably look up and find out.
So there are stops? I mean, do we have any laws about, or is there a meter of some kind that could?
You're talking about noise?
Yeah,
We do have a
like,
noise ordinance.
Excessive noise that would result in a stop.
We do have a meter. However, it's older. It doesn't really work that well. Because matter of fact, when we tested it, our lawnmowers were actually violating it. I mean, it was too much.
The reason I ask is that it's one of the most often asked questions about noise. Seems like it's the worst, accelerating from this stop sign down here, right in front of.
If I'd look back at it again. I think it's in decimals is what it's listed
Decimal
under.
meter, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, we can maybe look at maybe getting a new one that maybe works better. But the current one we have, it's not very good.
Okay. Any other questions for, oh, you got any more? Sorry.
That's all.
Okay. All right, thank you, Philip.
We need to mention, we did buy a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did buy a
We
vehicle.
got a good deal on that vehicle
Oh, very good job, that vehicle, yes.
to help them out, because we had two go down.
We did. Thank you. All right, we do have to approve the wastewater adjustments. We just received those. There was, Chris, is that one okay? I know you questioned that one.
Yeah, it was for next month, because she's gonna be filling her pool for next month, yeah.
So
Biggie.
we'll go ahead with it and approve them tonight? Okay. We need to make a motion to approve wastewater adjustments.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll move down to old business. Let's see here, we've got the
That's next.
ordinance for yard waste.
Nothing.
That's,
Oh, wait, I
You're
got
on
it
the
wrong.
wrong agenda, Mayor.
Sorry.
that's.
I grabbed them last meeting.
Yeah.
New business, Schweitzer Fest Road Run. We have Brianne Walsh here, representing everybody's, and she's done this for 3 years, 4 years now?
bit, yes.
Yeah, on the road run part, you know,
Yes, yeah.
actually taking it over, doing more of it.
Yeah.
You're great at it, so she has a map, well, Gerald, she has the there's the map, but she has an application for you.
Told you I can't run.
Saw that
I
application.
could push you.
It's a run walk.
I don't know if I can walk that far. I'll try.
I'll fill it out for
Did
you.
it one year.
I'll fill it out for you.
Appreciate
There's
it. I
a
might be gone
sale.
that weekend.
There's a sale that ends at midnight tonight, so right now until midnight is the cheapest price.
Better get it turned in, Gerald. Did you hear that? There's a sale right now, it ends tonight, so early bird special. So get that filled out and get that turned in. She'll take it from you after the meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's the same as,
So anyway, yeah, it's exactly the same. It's Saturday morning of Schweitzer Fest on the 9th at 8 a.m. The routes have not changed. They've been the same for about 20 years. So this is the 48th year for the Schweitzer Fest Road Run.
wow. It's great.
The age group awards are Fudge from Honstein's. So the top three in each age group, male and female, will receive Honstein's Fudge.
That's great. Board, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions on the
No.
run? Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the.
Second.
Motion by Gerald, second by Adam. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And
All
I'll
right.
connect with Jason. Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. Moving on, item B, the Agape Church is wanting to use Zerker Bettinger Park. Do we have anybody here from, let's see, anybody here from them? Okay. This is something they've done in the past down at the park. I think they've required water, the water keep is about it from what I remember, because the bathrooms are, well, unlocked bathrooms, but they're already there and ready, so.
I think they did it last year for sure.
Yeah, they had a, I feel like last year
Just
was
when
a,
they put the big tent
The-
up
yeah,
last
tent
year.
revival.
Is it
so.
a revival or the circus?
No, that's, the circus is different.
Yeah.
Circus, we proved that last week.
Animal shelter.
Yeah, this isn't, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the park's available, I'll make a motion to approve the
Did you have a date at all?
I did not bring the
Mayor?
date. I was hoping somebody'd be here from it. I know it's the date that they picked
The
is
day was
available.
confirmed already
Yeah.
with Doty, so.
So the date's not, yeah, I just don't know. I'll get it to you tomorrow, Connie.
We'll fill in the
Okay,
blanks
that's
on the
fine.
date.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Motion made by Adams, there a second?
Second.
Second by Gerald. Any further discussion? All those, yes, Chris.
Are they putting the stakes in the ground for the tent?
If they do, I'll make sure they do locate,
Thank you.
because there is electric out there for sure. I know there's some wastewater, but yours is important, but electric's a lot less forgiving. So,
Yours don't fry anybody.
just get them wet. That's about it. So, all right. Motion made second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, item C now, opening bid from the OOR program, which is the Owner Occupied Rehab Program. Jeff has got those there. Do you need
I
something?
do have two of them here, and I do have an opener.
All right.
The
Yeah,
First
she,
one?
before we open them, Jenny's here with Indiana 15. She's got some bid sheets for us.
Yeah,
Would all like a copy
that
of
would
them?
be wonderful.
As Jeff was saying, we did receive 2 bids on these here.
Rules. I like having the rules.
These are gonna take a little bit more time, Jeff. What we might do is open them up. Probably, we could have, yeah.
Typically, we'll approve them provisionally, and then I'll do a review and make sure they comply.
Well,
And I-
and Indiana
and I was
15.
gonna say,
Indiana
I think
15 is,
Yes.
I say, I trust them more than me.
But there's 1, 2, 3...
6.
6 properties, okay. And some of these may be for a roof, some may be for heating air, we don't know.
Yeah.
Some may be for all,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
It's gonna take a minute to try to tally these up, we'll just have to follow along to the best we can, because it's not the typical opening of a bid how it would be.
No, it's not.
Each property, each heating and air unit for each property would be bid. So, who do you want to start with first?
You ready for me to open
We're
it?
I am
for
ready
it.
when you are.
Well, the first one doesn't seem to have a name. It just says Tell City OOR Group on the front. So I'm gonna open it.
It's a surprise.
Keep the
Sealed,
suspense a
sealed.
little bit more.
Yeah. So this one is W. Richard Contracting, Inc., 9270 Apollonia, St. Croix. So they are local.
That's West
West
Richards.
Richards.
Yeah. And
He's gonna have a roof for sure.
$25,919.08.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Because we'll have to, what we need, Jeff? on
I'm
these-
gonna see if it's multiple.
Well, we
and I
need the
believe it is.
addresses here.
That's probably for all of them.
Is that for all of them?
That's what
Probably,
I
but
was
they have to be
thinking,
broken down
perhaps.
individual.
And they've got that in here
Right?
too, it appears.
Yeah, they've got it.
So.
Can you correct me if I'm wrong on that?
2, 3,
You are speaking the
4.
truth, sir.
Okay, good.
Well, maybe they have them all broken down and maybe not.
But they do, right here.
72416,
See right there? They do. They just gave a full number, but also broken down, which is fine.
So we need to know the
So,
bid.
which one you starting with?
724 16th Street,
It's
That's
at
the
the-
third sheet.
Yeah, and it's for what, a roof?
70, roof, yes, $7,744.11.
77 what?
774411.
Okay. 4411. And that was from what company again? Name-
West
name?
Richards.
West
West
Richards.
Richards.
Okay,
West Richards.
okay. I'm just gonna put a W next to it for Wes.
The
'Cause the next one they did on
is
2.
520 10th Street. Yeah, I don't think we have 6 of them in this packet.
520 10th Street, okay.
It lists a roof as well,
Okay.
7237,
Even?
37.
Or,
7237.37.
oh, I
Oh.
thought you were repeating it twice. I go, what?
You want to just copy mine?
How much was it, Jeff?
Well, you don't have to.
We'll give it.
$7,237.37.
Okay.
You just paused at the end.
Well, I was letting you catch up with me.
You did. Morning.
I'm trying to be kind.
You're doing good.
1318 9th Street.
The top one.
It's the top one. Roof, $7,193.09.
Okay.
This one, 1125 9th Street. Because roof, it does say at the bottom, shingled section of home only, $3,744.51.
It's the very back
It looks
one.
different. It's the
It's the one on
last
the back.
page
Yeah.
and it looks a little different, yeah. Yeah,
So I
it's-
believe that is all of the
I don't
bids
know.
we've got.
3,000
Can you
something,
repeat
Jeff.
that last one,
Didn't
please?
get it.
Yes, I can.
374451.
That is correct. That's 374451.
So didn't bid 10th Street or 6th?
Right.
Does not appear so.
Okay.
And they can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put that one there. This one is from JK Forever Homes.
That was on the bids we had from them.
Yeah,
For the other two, we didn't get any.
correct.
Okay.
Now, this company or whichever it is may have bid on all.
Everything, yeah.
We don't know.
JK Forever Homes.
That's just your cover page,
Yeah.
kind of.
So let's get through and see what we've got. Okay, this one is the 1125 9th Street.
Let's get to that one. 1125 9th Street?
Correct.
Okay.
It has several here. The roof section, 6003, $6,003 even.
Okay.
The HVAC, $248.40. The electrical upgrades, $2,719.98. Water heater replacement, $2,732.40. For a total, $11,703.78 at the bottom.
Total real at the bottom ain't important,
I was,
because it's hard to confuse, I'm
Each-
sorry.
each segment of the
Each
bid
segment
is-
of the bid is its
Yes.
own.
Yes,
bid.
as long as the home does not exceed the amount allotted by the city.
Right.
Yeah.
But I guess it is important to know that number then.
1318 9th Street,
Okay?
the roof, $6,520.50.
Okay.
The HVAC, $4,409.10. The electrical, $5,098.41. The water heater, $3,393.40.
3,000 what, 3?
$3393.40.
Okay.
I think that's a 9, is that a 9 or a 5? I think that's a 9.
It looks like a 9 to me. But we can figure it out if we add them all up if it adds
If
up.
we're $40 off later, we'll sort that out.
Yeah.
For a total of $19,381.41. 520 10th Street.
Okay.
The roof, $6,986, $69.86.25.
Okay.
ADA accessibility to entry of housing, $6,210 even, $62.10. HVAC, $7,638.30. Electrical, $1,705.68, $1,705.68. Water heater, $3,229.20, $3229.20, for a total, $25,769.43, $25,769.43. 1134 6th Street. Sure.
Yeah, no bids on that one so far, so.
Okay.
There's nothing on the roof, so ADA accessibility, $6,908.62, $69.08.62. HVAC, $621. Electrical, $2,842.11. Water heater, $2,546.10. Grand total, $12,917.83. 312 10th Street. The roof, $14,490 even. The HVAC, $15,425.64.
What was it? 15,000 what?
$15,425.64.
Okay.
That is basically a full replacement of HVAC. Electrical, $3,924.72. $39,24.72. Water heater, $2,732.40. $27,32.40. The total, $36,572.76. 36.
Contractor, but water heater says contractor to install a catch pan under the water heater. That's replacing the hot water heater. You said it's 2,000?
That's what he says, $2,732.40.
Big catch pan.
That sounds like replacing it there, but okay.
And
I'll have to double check
there might
that.
have been a misunderstanding.
There might be. That just threw me off, sorry.
Well, with drain properly executed.
That, I mean, maybe it is what's it costs, I don't know, but it just, okay.
724 16th Street.
Okay. 16?
Yes. Under roof, $6,520.50, $65,20.50.
Okay.
Water heater, $32.29.20. HVAC, $4,657.50. Electrical, $4,691.65, $46.91.65. Total, $19,098.85, $19,098.85.
Jeff, did you say the total amount on that last one? I interrupted you on it, but.
The total amount
312 10th
on
Street.
312 10th, $36,572.76.
Thank you, sorry.
That is all.
That's all of them. Okay, so, board, what we'll have to do, well, let me go through this real quick. The only ones that really got another bid on was the roof. So we can go through here and look at the roof ones first, just kind of get an idea, and then maybe approve it pending review by Indiana, Virginia, Indiana 15, and city attorney, and whoever else needs to approve it. Starting on the first sheet, the 1318 9th Street, it does appear that JK is the lower bid on the roof on that one. No, there was no bids by the other bidder on 312 10th Street. So 724 16th Street, it does appear that JK is also the low bidder there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other bidder only did roofs. 1134 6th, the others did not bid on. So to 520 10th Street, JK was also the low bidder on the roof there. And then let's see here, the 1125 9th Street one, that one's questionable on the roof. I've got to, because, I don't know.
It's like one.
We'll have to
maybe.
figure out which one is compliant there, because one of them was kind of conditional.
One was only
One
doing
said-
shingle
one
roof
said just
only.
shingles.
And the other one's both. So the bid did call for both, so it's, to me, more than likely, the JK would be the bidder, successful bidder, but that one would be just more, we'll just check that one a little bit more. So Jenny, what do we need, just a motion?
Yes, sir.
So a motion to approve pending review?
Yes.
Okay,
And then
motion to
we'll-
approve the low bid on each item on the bids, subject to legal review and review from Region 15.
And discussion with the homeowners. Some of these have gone over, and we'll work with them on prioritizing which items that they would like to be completed in their home.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
All that.
Connie got that, Connie?
All right, motion made by
still working
Adam.
on it, but-
Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Gerald. Any further discussion?
yes.
Okay.
Since we're in the process of replacing water lines, are any of these homes in that? Or can we check?
It wouldn't,
One of them, yes,
It
because
wouldn't
the
really
homeowner has
affect
contacted
it.
me about them, about the work, just to
Yeah.
see when the work was going to be completed at their house.
Yeah, it really wouldn't affect it because the water lines are just gonna go to the home with a shut off, and these are hot water heaters only. So there's gonna be
Inside the home
there's gonna be a gap between it that really wouldn't affect one or the other. They'll just get a new water line with a shut off valve and a new hot water heater, if that's what they're getting.
But they had just questioned when the
I mean,
work
if they're
would be
gonna
done.
put in the water heater, shouldn't they go ahead and put up, and tie it into the existing water line, shouldn't they go ahead and put a shut-off valve there?
Probably not, because it's not part of the bid. Because the shut off is the main come of the home. Inside.
Yeah,
that
that'll
we're
be-
putting
that'll
in.
be part of the-
And there'll be another shut off that goes to hot water heater by the time they get there.
Okay. I'm just.
There should be. I mean,
I just don't want us to fix something, then we have to turn around and tear it.
No, I don't think we will in this case. I know what you're saying, I understand that, but I don't think we
I think there's a
will.
gap between the projects.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jenny, what's the, just so the board knows, what's the cap amount per home?
20,000.
I don't know if y'all knew that or not, but I knew it was around that, but, okay. So most of these, there's a couple of them,
Homeowners are gonna have to do some picking on what they
Yes.
want and what they don't.
about 3 or so. That might be over, but yeah, okay. All right.
Just a quick update, and you can, if you'd like me to stick around for council meeting as well, I can share it there, but I will share it here. The inspector is down to, I believe, 4 homes. They're all out on the Walmart end of town that need inspection. Radon inspections have occurred. I believe they might be waiting on 1 homeowner on that, but we do have the next set of homes that will be ready for bid. We are accepting any contractors that would like to be added to the bidders list. This will be a rolling bid process, but we will I'll get with Connie and we'll get on the next set of bids out for the homes.
And we'll have a public meeting just like we did before for the
Just like we opened it, yep.
pre-construction or even.
We don't have to have a pre-construction anymore,
Okay.
but we'll just open them at a meeting like this again.
Okay, good deal. All right, so we have a motion made second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Jenny, thank you.
And I will get with
Work on this.
Steve about permitting and things.
Yes. Sounds like they're really going to need to get just one permit. but
Yes,
kind
it
of-
looks that way,
In this
but-
case, it worked itself out,
Yeah.
but other ones they may be not as easy or as complicated.
Yes.
So
We discussed some different scenarios when we
I
talked.
think anybody over $4,000, regardless of what the work is, should get their own. That's why they're not working on somebody else's, if the work isn't done right, or the blame game can
Yeah.
happen.
But I think this may work out a little easier than he and I had anticipated. So,
For this case, it did, I think.
Yes.
So,
thank you so much.
all right, thank you.
And you'll see that I get those bids back.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
All right.
And I looked at them, they did have the completed Form 96, so from legal perspective, you can get them right back to Connie. I've already looked them over.
So moving on, next item is item D, State Route 66 Sidewalk Plan Approval. I do have a copy here of the sidewalk plan that each of us will need to sign, and it basically just kind of lays out the sidewalk. There's actually 2 different sets here, but we know about the whole project, pretty much what's going to happen here is the sidewalks go from Washington Street to William Tell Boulevard on the east side of the street, 6-foot wide sidewalks. Yeah, I know, it's like drive a car, and I hope they don't. Golf, yeah, I'd hope they don't do scooters too, but we'll have to fix that if it happens. So that's all we need is this approval of this plan.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Have you overlooked everything to it?
It's overlooked. It's,
One property owner we're still dealing with.
Okay.
yeah. So, motion by Gerald, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Adam. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Before you leave, Adam, we just got to get you to sign this. okay?
What's the start date on that?
Well, they'll let it this fall, it should be next year.
Next year, yeah.
I don't know, that it hasn't been bid yet to know the start date, but when the weather turns,
Signatures now.
we can get them at the end. We're almost wrapping things up here. Next item is item D, State Route 6, or excuse me, item E, sorry, Ivy Tech. This is a rather large replacement cost here. When I say large, I mean large. So there are 4 or 5 units out there. There's 2 on the roof, and I think there's 2 or 3 on the ground, but there's 1 on the roof. There's 2 on the roof that are the same age, pretty much, replaced at the same time, is my understanding. One is still doing okay, the other one is not so well. These aren't just your normal little heating and air units for your house. These are extremely large, and the cost is $38,985 to replace just one. Now, the other one's still, like I said, working, so we don't have as, had to, hopefully that one stays in there, but this does not include the cost of the crane. These are large, these are like the, maybe not the size of a big car, but a small car, they're pretty good size. They'll need a crane to remove the old one and replace it with the new one, and in talking with them, I would like to keep the old one if we can, kind of store it somewhere, I don't know where yet, because there may be some parts that we replaced on it that might be good to fix the old one if it would, the one still up there has some problems, maybe a motor or a fan, or something. I have no idea, you know, but if you can take a part, pull apart kind of thing and keep another one going a little longer, it's not as big as shot in the arm for the next time it comes around, if it does soon, hopefully not.
So you got multiple bids, or?
We've only got this one right now on it because it's under the amount that we had to. They do all the work on this whole building. They've done it all. So that's kind of where they went with them on that. What? Oh, sorry.
You're all signed.
Well, I haven't signed it. That's
You're all
possible
signed but
later.
you.
Okay. I'll get that tomorrow then. What are your,
So who's paying for it? Are they paying for it or are we paying for it?
we're paying for it. That's part of the lease agreement with them, which their lease is up and they're going to do, I think, a 2-year lease. And so they're getting their things together on their end. That's got to get it signed and bring it to us for approval.
Would they not do triple net leases everyone? Have you checked in other leases? That's crazy that they're not.
Well, they used to pay kind of was a triple net in essence before. And it came down to the point where they were going to leave the community. And former Mayor Ewing, that's something she worked very hard on to keep them in the community. And this was the one thing that they agreed upon to stay here. So I think had she not done that, I think you would have saw Ivy Tech leave the community. I'm pretty confident, actually.
I agree.
She made a lot of meetings and a lot of calls, and she worked for a while to keep it here. Because I think the deal was they were leaving.
We
and-
discussed doing a longer-term lease, but that
Yeah.
then implicates state requirements for more approvals, and the red tape piles up the longer the
So
lease
2
is.
years typical?
Yes.
That's what the last one was for, I think.
Yeah.
I had it on the calendar to renew it, and it doesn't, well, it just expired at the end of this month, actually. But we've been emailing back and forth and working with them, and so,
Yeah, I think they would like to do a long-term lease too if they could, but
Okay.
because of the state requirements, they don't want to jump through those hoops. I don't blame them.
but no, this building is our building, although we are responsible for replacing this unit. Cume Cap was a place where Connie felt we could pay for it out of. So we do have some funds in there that will cover the cost.
We have approximately 147,000 unappropriated in that budget, so.
To get
This is
this-
something that I feel would fit under that.
And to get this unit in, minimum of a month before it would even arrive. It probably could be longer.
Longer.
So they're hot. This does control several rooms out there. I don't remember exactly how many, but I don't know if it even says on there. Actually, it might have.
We were hoping the other one would limp along till this one.
Yeah,
it
we was
went
hoping,
out.
we was hoping the old one would limp along and then we could budget for it next year and
Yeah.
take our time a little bit more. But now, I mean, honestly, by the time a month gets here, it's still gonna be August, which is still pretty warm, but it's gonna start cooling off. But this is all of it. This is heat
It
and air.
seems like a big amount, but if you say we don't have to bid it, then.
I mean, it's
that's
under the
up-
bid.
It's up to you guys. I mean, I don't even know who's on the bid, but we bid lesser amounts, but I'll defer to Gerald on that one.
City attorney, if we're legal,
Oh, we are, yeah.
So it's up to you guys.
was it a local bid or out?
Oh, it's local.
Frederick.
You didn't get a copy of that?
No, we didn't get that.
You didn't get a copy of it?
Nope.
Sorry. Well, I just printed it off about 10 after 4, but I
Yeah.
thought Mayor had
I thought-
copies. But they're,
Okay, I'm sorry.
so you can keep that, I can do it and run it in.
Would it hurt to delay it for 2 weeks till we get another bid?
Can.
Just, I have no idea how hot it is, whether they're capable of, I don't know those
It's
specifics.
kind of,
There's not a lot going on in the summer in the college.
I mean, I will say that they've called and said reminded us how, I guess, hot it is. I think it's around 78 in there. Not that, huh? And that was last week. So, I mean, the reason we can get, I'm not saying we get on some of the bid stuff, is this is not, you could almost call this more of an emergency type need because of the timeframe it's gonna take to get it here and that.
It's maintenance.
Now, had we had more time, we would have probably done a better job and gotten bids, but
Or quotes.
minimum,
Yeah.
they said 30 days at least. And I'm afraid it'd be longer than that, and they still gotta find a crane.
Because his crane, the company, the person he used with a crane or whatever is no longer doing it.
Right.
So he has to find somebody else.
Casey Electric's got a crane, so we should be able to keep it all local, but.
It's good to know, I'll let them know that, because
Yeah.
we were trying to come up with some ideas that might have had some
Yeah,
cranes, so.
Casey Electric has one. Actually, a couple.
Did he mention them? Because there was, I don't know if he mentioned them or not.
I don't think he mentioned.
One of them he
them.
mentioned they had a crane, but I don't remember who it was. It wasn't a big enough crane.
Right.
And I don't remember if it was them or not.
Yeah, they have a huge one, so.
Yeah.
Now whether it's here or up north, but yeah.
Yeah.
If you think it's an emergency and the city attorney says it's okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion made by Gerald. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Adam. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Let's see here. That looks like we have Kiwanis, still the last one. Now, I did get you a copy of that, I know. They've done this in the past. They do the Walk of Honor
Well, you can keep it.
that they put up. This is sponsored by Kiwanis, and just wanted to bring it to you. It's not until September is when they're going to first start putting them up. And that's for Labor Day and Patriot Day, and then again for Veterans Day, so
I'll make a
Just wanna
motion
get
to
ahead.
approve.
Okay.
It's always nice downtown, so.
motion made by Adam. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gerald. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. All right, due to the time, we're going to go ahead. I'll save my mayor's report for the council meeting, so is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Gerald, second by Adam. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned. Give me just a second here. Turn this off. Ready for our next meeting.